Sharon. She's one of my fitness heroes. I've been following her on Twitter. Thanks to Nigel, who's tagged her, and has been awesome to collaborate our fitness journey, as well as learn a lot from you, Sharon. And so Sharon, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll let Nick and Brent go.
Okay, so I'm Sharon O'Dea. I'm a communicator by trade and I guess a nerd by nature. So I kind of work at the intersection of communications and digital. So I mostly work with larger complex organizations, specifically in financial services, looking at digital communication and collaboration.
Right.
Awesome. Hey everyone, Brent Williams, founder and CEO of Benakiva.
Hi everyone, Nick Lamparelli, Chief Underwriting Officer at Rethought and podcaster at Coverager. And Sharon, welcome. I think you're my only Dutch friend.
Oh well, yeah, I'm not Dutch. I live in the Netherlands.
Yeah. I'm playing.
I'm technically I'm British Irish.
I got that.
Well, Sharon, as with our tradition, since you're our guest of honor, we would love for you to go first and share your happy stories with our audience.
Okay, so actually I had a good week work-wise. I've kicked off with a new client. I'm actually working with something, organization in insurance. So had a really good workshop yesterday, and it was great that it went really well, which is good because we're suddenly having to switch to doing workshops virtually, which is kind of strange, and I'm just still getting used to that. But it went really well, and I got great feedback from the client afterwards to say that they really enjoyed it, and we've got all the right kind of outcomes from that. So in this kind of weird time where we're getting used to having to completely change the way that we get things done that we've been doing for years, it was really nice to get some really good feedback. And then on the fitness side, the gyms are still open here. I don't know how much longer for. So I think I've been 4 times this week to spin, and I did arm day today, so I'm feeling a little bit sore. It was good. Enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed
our leg workout later.
Yeah. So my gym has got kind of all the big muscle guys, and I'm usually like the only woman there at the free weights area. So I tend to really ham it up with the grunting.
That's awesome.
Are you thinking that the gyms might close again?
COVID's going not well at the moment in the Netherlands, so we're on the verge of being, I think, the worst outbreak in the developed world now. Having been really, really good in the first wave, it's all going pretty badly all of a sudden. So I expect things will close, and if they don't, I'm getting a bit nervous about going.
Yeah. Well, that's not happy, but the good news is that since we all follow each other on Twitter, we can transport our workouts home.
Yeah, I've got my weights at home. I think if I like to lift heavy, I power lift, so it's a bit harder to do that at home. And I have a pretty small apartment here. So we'll see. But on the flip side of that is actually, times before COVID, I used to travel really, really regularly. I would be, in London or Zurich or wherever. And not going to airports all that often and spending my life in hotels and airports means that I've actually had time to build a proper fitness schedule. So I've actually probably the fittest I've been in years. So I guess if things change, I'll work my way around it. I'll start running again.
Yeah, that's plan B, right? Because of COVID, I built my home gym, which I've pretty much equipped it with most CrossFit. I'm fortunate that I have space where I have now. I bought a squat rack. That was my missing piece.
Wow.
So
That's
now
serious.
I'm ready to, I miss squatting. Like it's because I don't have I have to lift it. So I can't do heavy unless I have a squat rack. So it'll be interesting to see the next few weeks. How much weight can I go back to where I was before COVID?
I was quite surprised when I went back. So the gyms were shut for about 3 months solid. And I went back and I was pretty close to my PB within about 2 weeks, which really surprised me. It doesn't disappear as quickly as I expected. That was good.
Yeah. Oh, that's good encouragement.
Hopefully.
So who would like to go next with their happy story?
I'll go next. Yeah. So I think I shared last week or the week before last that we went live with our first tier 1 sized carrier, and as part of that, we start to look at the team and all the work that they put in to get that done. This carrier said that they're actually putting us in for an internal award for the fastest implementation in history, and that's not me. That's the team. I often say that I'm just the dumb guy in the room. I just coordinate and everybody else does the work. But the team did very well. So this morning, I actually sent out our first invoices to this carrier. And as part of that, I thought, well, crap, we just will do bonuses for the people who worked on the team on this. So I got with the core team and said, what are we going to give them? And it's almost like Christmas for us, because we get to share some of the fruits of the labor, if you will. And so we tried this. It made me really happy just a little bit ago. So Bobbie said, we're going to bring the individual team members in on a Zoom call by themselves to share the bonus, right? And she says, I want everybody to be serious, because it's very rare that an employee comes into a Zoom meeting and all 3 of the founders are on the call. They may work with Bobbie, they may work with Sovin, some may work with me here and there, but very rarely do they see all 3 of the core team members on the call. So Bobbie says, we have to be serious. So I said, I'm good at that. I can make a serious face really quick, right? And I can stay that way. And so Sovin and I are really serious, and Bobbie does this. Well, what we'd like to do is share some. I was like, Bobbie, you can't even do it. It's your idea and you can't even do it. But,
I failed miserably. I just couldn't stop smiling. It was my horrible idea. Didn't execute it well. So the second one, though, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the second one
was more
hilarious. The second one, we pulled the second employee in, and Bobbie says, Sovin, you handle this one because you can be serious. And this employee works really close with Sovin anyway. And so Sovin puts on a serious face. He's doing great, right? He's doing great. He's sitting there serious. I'm sitting there serious. Bobbie's sitting there like, trying to I told her, just put the Benekiva mask on. But anyway, Sovin does this. He says, Surge, Bobbie, take it from here.
He delegated it to me. He was supposed to do
Bobbie. It cracked me up.
That's like when I play hide and go seek with my kids and they go hide and I'm like, where are you? And I can hear them giggling. Yeah. Like, you're supposed to be quiet.
So anyway, that made me really happy this week. So
that's great. Great. That makes me so happy. Yeah, you guys strike me as the kind of people that would do something awesome like that, Yep. Pay it forward. I love it. My happy story is that you've probably heard that Eddie Van Halen died. And that by itself doesn't make me happy, but it brought back a flood of memories as I started seeing interviews and I saw videos and songs. And I grew up, in the 70s, 80s. So Van Halen was like one of those bands that, everyone had to listen to. And it just brought back such warm memories of hanging out with the tape deck or the record player. And there's so much Van Halen stuff that's like the first. It was the first logo that I drew when we were in class and we would draw logos of our favorite rock band. I think it was the first cassette tape I bought. I think when I moved into, when we were in high school and my parents bought a new house and we moved, I think 5150 was the first record I played in that house. And so, like now it's on my phone. I went for a walk last night, and I was listening to Van Halen, and I was like a really fast pace because it was just so awesome. So that's my happy story. It's just marvelous, talented human being that's just brought so much joy to people around the world. And unfortunate with his passing, but I think I have a lot of, I'm happy and grateful that I was there. I got to grow up with that, and it became like such a big part of who I am as like someone who loves music or whatever. It's gonna be hard to top that. Hard to top him as a guitarist.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because one of the first concerts I ever went to was Van Halen, and it always surprised me that they named a band after a guitarist. I mean, that's very rare. That usually it's the lead singer and then whatever. Bruce Springsteen and the at Risk the Boys, whatever. But to name an entire band after the guitarist said a whole lot. But what was interesting was they came to Des Moines and played, and as part of their concert, they shared. They said, we know Des Moines, we know of Des Moines, and they shared that cover of their album with the baby smoking a cigarette, and that's actually a drawing that was done by an artist here in Des Moines. And so that was very interesting. He called him out. I bet there were 50,000 people at Wells Fargo Arena, and he calls them out and says, this artist is right here. And they put up a big picture of it and said, the artist is right here in Des Moines, and boom. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And there's the Dutch connection, because of course they were born here in Amsterdam.
Yeah, there was an awesome interview. I shared the link on Twitter a couple days ago, and I guess I sort of knew that, but it was even more complex. His father's Dutch, his mother's Indonesian, and at the time, I don't know if it was still like a Dutch colony but they have a lot of relationships. So they moved to Indonesia, and they moved back to the Netherlands, then they moved to the United States, and it was such an interesting story. And a lot of these people have hard childhoods. I always think of like Nirvana's lead singer. He wasn't one of them. Like, he was just loved his father. Just loved playing with the guitar. Just a happy-go-lucky kid. Him and his brother. And he started on the drums first.
Yeah.
And he came in one day, and his brother took the drum set his way. He's like, okay, I guess I'll play guitar. And just the whole backstory of him building the guitar. He wanted it a perfect way, and he built it on his own. It's just such a marvelous interview. And in seeing like Valerie Bertinelli and his son and what they've said about him, it's like, man, like no one really has a bad word to say about him. He's just like a big child in his joy of who he was. And so, yeah, just marvelous.
Yeah.
I only ever saw them once. It was at Download, the Donington Rock Festival, in sort of the centre of England. I can't remember what year it was now. A long time ago. Great fun. That was a good day out.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Bobbie?
isn't it, when bands pass away and then you suddenly are kind of, they've escaped your attention for years, and then all of a sudden you revisit their back catalogue. So when David Bowie passed away, I think I was on a David Bowie tip for a good year afterwards.
Yeah, same. Yeah, absolutely. Like you just forget, and then getting those extra details makes the music even more special. When you start hearing about how this song was developed or where the words came, and just the different relationships that they had. It absolutely. I went through the same David Bowie thing, so it's and I went through a Rush thing this year. So like, my favorite drummer and now possibly my favorite guitarist, like who else is going to go in 2020? Like, let's get this year over, man. What a horrible year.
Yeah. I agree. I've been on a Nirvana kick, and it has not gone away. That's like one of my workout tracks that I play. So I'll wrap up with our happy story. I think Brent shared part of my happy story, but another one that I want to bring, I'll do a couple. So one on the work side is what I'm very grateful for is just our Benekiba team. I mean, if you look at like from a support aspect, customer success aspect, all the way to development, we just have a very dedicated team and we're just so blessed. And, when I feel like we hire really well because we don't hire just bodies or here's a former exec, let's just bring them on the team. We go through a internal process. Like if they're a member of my team, I make sure Brent blesses them, Soon blesses them, the team blesses them. So it's got to be a cultural fit as well. And we've just been super blessed. We had one employee who recently started but had this pre-planned vacation, work during his vacation just to make sure. We had to kind of kick him out. Like he was like kicking and screaming, "No, I'm gonna work." We're like, "No, we got it. Just have fun." Because when you come back, there's waiting for you. And then on the personal side, I got to share another historic moment with Savannah. No matter what your political affiliations are, it was very cool for Savannah to see portions of the debate. She didn't get it, but she saw like 15 minutes of it and then she fell asleep. But at least she got to see something that was pretty epic. So I was very happy to share that moment, influence her to know that there are strong women out there. So nothing is never inevitable, like if you want something, you can get there. So it's just a message, such an important message for our younger generation, especially, the younger women as they grow older, just want to see good role models and make sure that they don't have this bias that I can't do this because people don't look like me, so.
Yeah.
Well, she's got the best one in her house.
I try.
There so often, Nick. I mean, I come and go there. Oh, you meant Bobbie. Oh.
Her favorite song now. She's like, "Can you play Uncle Brent's favorite song, which is Post Malone?" And I have to kind of skip some of the tracks, but those are the tracks. She's like, "I want to listen to." I'm like, "No, you're 5. You can't listen to that."
Like, here are Brent's good traits. You can copy those, but all of this other stuff, ignore him.
Yeah, she loves her Uncle Brent. She loves her Uncle Brent.
Oh.
Hey, one thing I will say to this group, I know this is off subject a little bit, but I asked our team, I sent a message to our team to watch, I don't know if you guys have Netflix, but I have Netflix, and this new documentary came up called The Social Dilemma came up, and I literally watched that, and I sent a message in Slack, I said, "Guys, you have to watch this." But if you have not watched that show, you need to watch that show, because it is truly eye-opening. How those companies go about getting our attention and grabbing our attention. And I was having a conversation earlier this week that I made the decision quite a while ago that when work's done, work's done. I put the phone down, I put it on the charger, and I don't look at it. And I a lot of times I have it on silent, and it's just that time is for that time. Work time is for work time, and that home time is home time. And so I've been very diligent at not having my phone out and being on my phone. I've even thought about taking it to the extreme, like they say, where you don't even take it to dinner. Simon Sinek said, "Don't even take the phone to dinner. Leave it at the house and then go have dinner with friends." And I think it's those small little steps that we can do to kind of get some of our attention back and focus it somewhere else. But anyway, if you haven't seen that show, you need to watch that show.
Yeah, I watched it a few weeks back, and I mean, lots of it was things that I already knew about, their entire business model is cannibalizing more of your attention. But it was nonetheless kind of scary to hear it all laid out like that.
Yeah.
And from people, who were responsible for designing it. Did make me a bit more mindful, although I am surgically attached to my phone.
Sure.
I'm a lot better on not working. I used to work for a big corporate bank, and I did that whole, checking my emails at 2 o'clock in the morning and getting up at 5 and working crazy hours, and learned that lesson the hard way. And now I live in the Netherlands, the country with the shortest working hours in Europe. Standard working week's 32 hours. It's brilliant.
Wow.
But yeah, I tell you. Yeah.
Bobbie, do we have an office there?
We will soon.
No, it's funny moving here because they do actually have that sense that people really value work-life balance. And I work for myself, so actually I'm just much more efficient with my time, and there's a lot less, to be honest, there's a lot less bullshit when you don't have to navigate a big corporate. You just get what you need to do done and then finish at a reasonable hour. It's I wish I did it years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like I embed work life, right? So there's with our team being global, there's times where I am working at night, but my workout time, that's sacred. My Savannah time, I try to be very diligent about what Brent said. No phone for a couple of hours, it's so hard. It's very addicting. And that's when I saw that. I was texting Brent. I was like, yep, we're puppets. but at least we're old enough to be aware. But think about the younger generation. They have no clue how addicted they are.
I've gone through the effort. It's I've tried the delete it from your phone type of thing, and it's there are trade-offs with using tools like that. And so before I try to get too close to disconnecting, which would be like too much cold turkey, like a smoker just quitting, really hard to do. I have gone, like, especially like Twitter, but also Facebook, just gone through and just deleted people, just trying to at least get the drama down. So like for Twitter, I'm trying to use things like, these people have a positive message, or I'm learning stuff from them. Like they have something positive to deliver to me. And I'm trying to stop following people that, even if they have the same political philosophy as me, it's just, I don't want the drama anymore, and Facebook, I have unfriended people, and people have gotten very upset, and it's just like, you're just too much drama. Yeah. Like all I do is just mute you for 30 days. And it's like, we should just, I'm just going to unfriend you, and that's that. And it's unfortunate, but the stress of it has gone down dramatically.
Yeah.
I've started to do the same on Twitter. I used to get into all sorts of bum fights over politics, and actually now when people are idiots, I just go instant block. Life's too short. You can write what you like, but I'm under no obligation to read it.
Yeah.
And then Facebook, absolutely zero tolerance these days. If someone's, racist or whatever, then bye. That's it. I haven't got time these days to read all that nonsense.
Well, thank you so much, Sharon, for coming on our Happy Friday episode. And Nick and Brent, great messages. And until next time, happy
Lovely
Friday.
to meet you.
Thanks, Sharon.